A separatist region of Moldova, Transnistria, alarmed the West today by asking Vladimir Putin for protection. Transnistria, which shares a border with Ukraine, sought Russia's assistance in a move that was carefully orchestrated with Moscow. Putin already has several thousand Russian soldiers in the region, a supposed peacekeeping force that has been there since the Soviet era, and an unknown number of paramilitary forces. Moldova leans towards the West but is still outside the EU and NATO, making it vulnerable to Putin. Transnistria is under Moscow's influence. The request from a special assembly in Transnistria, called the Congress of Deputies, was intentionally timed before Putin's keynote speech of fear to the Russian Federal Assembly in Moscow on Thursday. The assembly voted to adopt an appeal to the Federation Council and the State Duma of the Russian Federation, the two chambers of parliament, with a request to implement measures to protect Transnistria in conditions of increased pressure from Moldova. The appeal states that more than 220,000 Russian citizens live permanently on the territory of the region and the unique positive experience of Russian peacekeeping force. The appeal urges the UN to respect the inalienable rights of the Transnistrian people guaranteed by international standards, to stop the violation by Chisinau, the capital of Moldova, of the rights and freedoms of the residents. The pro-Russian leadership of the region says, since the moment the Moldovan leadership chose and consolidated the course towards the European Union, Transnistria has faced the greatest socio-economic pressure and the most massive violation of the rights and freedoms of the residents of the region, which directly contradicts the European principles and approaches in the field of human rights protection and free trade. Putin is seen as likely to exploit the move for his own purposes, but it is unclear if he has the military strength to walk in and invade Transnistria, which he effectively controls anyway, or Moldova immediately. Local opposition politician Gennady Chiorba claimed that Putin is plotting to seize Transnistria as part of his re-election campaign. This will give Putin a supposed legal power to step into Transnistria, which has been in limbo since the end of the Soviet Union. The region is seen as a hotbed of crime, corruption and smuggling. The dictator has noticed the failure of the West to meet Ukraine's needs for weapons, and senses he could get away with a new annexation, say experts. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has insisted that Moscow will not leave its citizens living in Transnistria in trouble. Moldova President Maya Sandu last year claimed that Russia was planning a coup in her country. Chiorba warned Sandu of the Kremlin threat, saying that the psychology of the current leadership of Russia, especially Putin, is very similar to the psychology of Hitler in the late 1930s. Attempts to appease people like Putin lead to only one thing: the growing appetite of the aggressor. Ukrainian military analyst Alexander Kovalenko has labeled Moscow's moves concerning, and he warned, this group of Russian troops poses a serious threat to Moldova, since it is a much more combat-ready force than the Moldovan army. Russians are the largest group among the population of Transnistria with almost 30%. Another 29% are Moldovan or Romanian, while 23% are Ukrainian.